Hello everyone, I am Hitesh, Dr. Hitesh Bhatt, Director Marketing and Communications from Retailers Association of India. I am the editorial director of our magazine also, which is known as Storai. So today it's an absolute pleasure to be here to discuss the exciting developments in Spykar's influencer marketing strategy for 2023 and till date what they have done. As we all know, Spykar has been a trailblazer in the Indian denim industry, giving tough competition to international brands and cementing its position as one of the fastest growing denim brands in the country. Influencer marketing has become a crucial component of brand promotion in today's digital landscape. With this in mind, Spykar has been deliberate in its approach, ensuring that its chosen influencers not only have a strong connection with their audience, but also add value to the brand's image. Spykar's influencer marketing strategy is a testament to the brand's adaptability and dedication to connecting with its audience in an authentic and impactful way. Through these campaigns, Spykar will continue to solidify its position as a leading denim brand in India and set the stage for an even more successful future. I am happy to introduce Sanjay here today, the CEO of Spykar, who has been at the forefront of this, is joining me today for the fireside chat, where we will delve deeper into the intricacies of Spykar's marketing campaign, especially on the influencer side, and discuss how they contribute to the brand's overall growth and success. Welcome to the fireside chat, Sanjay.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine.
So, we'll start with, for the uninitiated. Sanjay, if you can just throw some light on current denim industry in India to start with.
So the demographics that the country kind of brings to itself is the young demographics, and we all are aware that probably the youngest population would be there in India, and we all are also aware of the fact that the way the youth takes on or connects with denims, that is never seen with any other product category ever throughout the world. So in a lot of ways, the product denim also kind of connotes or leads to kind of creating a personality of your own. And for every individual, his denim speaks a lot more about himself than a very general comment. So I think one of the biggest icons that probably youth would ever have or has ever had is denim. So from that perspective, by virtue of us being at the forefront of denim business in India, it also means that we kind of have been working with the youth at any given point of time in the last 30 years. So 30 years is what the brand has seen from the time it kind of began its journey in this country. And a lot of changes and a lot of evolution we've seen actually, the way probably retail has expanded, the way transactions have happened, the way consumers have behaved or changed their behavior, leading up to where we are today. And it gives me great pleasure to say that until yesterday, when we started a journey, a lot of people were in the business primarily because they felt, making denims was making a quick buck. But we saw it in a very different manner. We actually looked at it from a perspective of how this business can become an extension of a consumer's personality. How can we bring stop commoditizing the denim business and make it more personal. And so from that perspective, I think the emphasis always at Spykar was to build a brand for a set of people. Always be sure that you are going to not be able to address the whole world. You may have to kind of select few people, few cohorts, and that's kind of going to be your primary bread and butter. So we've done that, and we've been happy to say that we've not been too greedy to talk to everybody in the country. We have had the audacity and also the gumption to leave out a lot of audiences and speak to a much more smaller audience. And that's probably the reason why, as a brand, uh, we probably may feature amongst the only Indian brand in the denim scenario. If you actually visualize a mall and think about the denim brands that are present in malls nationally, you will be able to count, say, a Levi's. You'll probably see a Jack and Jones over there. You'll see a Wrangler or a Lee over there. You might see a Lee Cooper. You may see a Pepe. And you'll for sure see a Spykar. And the other aspect is there might not be too many Indian brands other than Spykar as far as the denim business is concerned in a mall. So in a way, it also kind of ratifies and brings forth the the prudence that we apply to our business in always being in the right step with our audiences. I guess that's where we've won the battle, where we kind of been very fleet-footed. We've changed according to the markets, to the consumers, and evolving geographies and trends.
Evolving geographies and trends. Sanjay, denim is such a category that, preferences change, choices change. How has Spykar, made itself consistently relevant to the ever-changing fashion trends as far as denim is concerned?
So this is my 31st year at Spykar, and there are close to 20-25 people amongst 175 that we have who are plus of 20 years. What is very significantly different is my design team has an average age of 2.5 years at Spykar, and the average age of my design team also happens to be in the early 20s. What I believe is the real essence of a successful business, especially in a space like ours where a lot of things change every day, and it's very difficult to keep pace with an audience which you have kind of dreamt of serving or wanted to serve, which is the youth. Because at any given time, even when we started off, when we were very young, we were very fleet-footed. We were very finicky. We were not, we didn't subscribe to any one thing. And that's how it is today as well. So what's critical is that the basis of business and the foundation of the business and the more rational side of the business is something that we kind of draw as a perimeter around our business. And within that perimeter, we bring in the young and the more energetic, the more youthful, the more contemporary, the more restless people to run those areas. So if I see my design head, who does not design a single garment, who actually looks at bringing the management sensibilities into play from a function perspective, and under him there are 18 or 19 designers. None of them are more than 25 years old. So we have kind of created a very great balance, a very interesting balance, where experience is influxed with youth and energy and new ideas and current ideas. So kind of we have drawn a perimeter out of which the designers can't really operate, which in a way says that, okay, we have kept the signature of Spykar very consistent over the last 30 years. So this blending of these two sets of people, one where there is extremely high energy and newness, other is this wise old creature with a lot of tons of experience. So I think that's kind of very interesting and that's very important as well, because we all know that they both have their own pitfalls and one needs to complement and support each other in the final process.
Exactly. In fact, the last sentence was my question, which he answered, that both of them have to complement. Sanjay did mention about the age, age as a numerical, and he mentioned a couple of times in his design team, the overall team that he has. It also shows, the mix of experience as well as youthfulness and passion that the youngsters bring to the table. So from the denim industry to Spykar's overall brief introduction and what you stand for and how you are, adopting to trends. Now let's get into the marketing part of it, and then we'll get into the influencer part of it. So how has Spiker's marketing strategy differentiated with the competition, Sanjay, over the years? And we have seen, in fact, whenever I drive from town side towards suburbs and I see those Spiker ka hoardings, and over the years, just for everyone, and including Sanjay, I wear all the brands that he mentioned, including Spiker. So, because I am from the association, and that's the reason. But why I'm telling you this is, we have seen the change. So, what was the, if you can succinctly tell us about your marketing strategy before we delve into the influencer part of it?
Yeah, so in line with what we've kind of done in our design setup, so I'll have to probably step a few steps back and look at how marketing was and how the landscape was probably 5 or 7 years earlier. Uh, Not much had changed in the first 20, 25 years of our life. Conventional media was ruling. Yeah, there was a bit of disruption when television happened in a big way, and then DTH happened in a big way. So from there, the fragmentation of the media actually started happening. And if I fast forward it to today, I see a very huge amount of fragmentation on the media side of it, which in a very big way possesses a huge challenge for marketing people, for planning people to really figure out how do you reach your consumers. Uh, Over the last 2 years, what we've done internally is that we've kind of moved our existing marketing personnel into business roles, and I made the whole marketing team to a zero, and started rebuilding this whole team with a set of people who are today, who are current, and one of them is here with me, Praniti, and very happy to be scolded, very happy to be objected to, because for us, uh, it's a whole process of unlearning a lot of things and picking up altogether a new set of rules and regulations. So what's dramatically happened at Spyker is that for 1.5 year, we didn't have any activity at all on the marketing side except for the hygiene social media that we used to do. That was more of, put your foot in the door kind of a plan. Till we don't bring a team together who can respond to today's need. And I am the first guy who will accept the fact that today, I would not say irrelevant is a word, but there needs to be a lot more awareness of the mediums and what's needed through the medium in the marketing people today than what was necessary yesterday, because the landscape has changed. This has got no bearings on the capabilities or on the ability of an individual. It's just that there's a whole bit of unlearning and then learning which needs to happen, and that eventually will take a lot of time and a lot of trial and errors. And so, today my team is being led by Praniti, who's probably 2 years into this business. Overall, just experience will not be more than 2 years. And again, around her is a very strong set of rules that we've created where it just doesn't go topsy-turvy. So our plans are to really relook at consumers, relook at communication, relook at mediums, the ideology and the desires that the consumers have today. And all of this, I'm sure you heard 1,001 times, and I still feel that it's also very relevant, and it's necessary for every organization to rethink and to re-energize and to refresh their own self and also the way they have been speaking to their audiences. So that's one large piece that Spyker has done. Yeah.
Thanks. Now let's come to you spoke about, not much was done except for the hygiene social media. That's what the words you use. But now we have seen a couple of very good campaigns that Spyker has done as far as influencer marketing is concerned. My first question is your views on influencer marketing. Then we play the first ad of Spyker on the influencer marketing, and then we take it ahead. So before the ad plays, just your views on influencer marketing, Sanjay.
Yeah, so I think it's a necessary evil. I really am not very certain of the way influencer marketing is today in its form and shape. Because coming from a background where, I somehow feel that the influencer are replacing brand ambassadors, so to speak. Yeah, they have become much micro in the size and the cost. Also in terms of the way they impact with one single piece of communication, but they still have taken over the role of a lot of brand ambassadors. Uh, and how it is
Absolutely.
and how it is for brand ambassadors is that there has to be a set of values that the brand ambassador has, which eventually needs to connect with the brand and the ethos of the brand. And in a similar manner, the same logic needs to be extended when we are talking about the influencers. Uh, how it's also known that any action of or any misdeed of the brand ambassador eventually has to impact the brands in a similar manner. How the influencers also conduct themselves on and off are going to lead to a lot of ramifications for the brand. So from that perspective, I think the market and the medium has not really evolved, because the way I see it is that right now everybody is in it for a quick buck, and I really don't see too many hard lines drawn around people, influencers, agencies, where authenticity and credibility is at the top of the list of the to have or must haves, and there is no way today, me as a brand owner or a person who's going to make a decision sure of the fact that what is an influencer doing to keep his own equity alive. Because at the end of the day, I'm playing on the equity of the influencer. And none of us question that part. All that we question over here is how many people are following him. Very, very, how would I put it, very superficial areas of judging him or her. And that's where my hesitation comes, where I have yet not gone into it neck deep. It's only because I'm testing the waters. I'm trying to figure out who are the people who are really good, honest, who live up to the commitments of what they actually, they stand for. And what are they doing towards building that imagery around them. So once, and I think this is also a matter of evolution, because it's a very new area. And at some point of time, there are going to be a lot of filtering happening within the set of influencers and everybody in the medium who's serving this medium, where the serious people versus the not so serious people are going to be very clearly distinguished and marked out. And it is going to be all done with a lot of questioning and probing by all of us in this room. Because it's to be an influencer, you need to be doing certain things. To be proposing an influencer, you need to be doing certain things. To be accepting an influencer, I need to be doing certain things. Only then your end goal is going to be achieved. And the end goal finally is whoever is the client, his products or services have to sell. So if we are all aligned to that goal, which is in a way the cardinal truth, only then this medium is going to live its full life. Otherwise, there have been many things which have come and gone. This probably would be one of them as well. And I know I'm speaking a little too out of turn and with not as much experience, or at least as far as this kind of business is concerned. But I feel that there has to be a lot of sifting through of the quality and consistency, which is going to be a obligation of each and every person out there and out here, so that this medium flourishes and delivers its objectives for whoever is kind of putting their efforts or money on it. And we have taken baby steps. We've done a few campaigns on this. I am not throwing any comments around. I'm wanting to kind of pass any judgments over here. I do understand one more thing, is that when I look out to talk to my audience today, I don't find a single place where these people congregate. My audiences congregate in the right numbers. They are so fragmented and they are at so many different places that it becomes a hell lot of difficult for me to talk to him with a reasonable budget. You know, you might find people, few people on print today. Uh, with a IPL also, it's difficult to catch a person on, say, a Star Sports. He might be on Geo, on Star Sports, he might be on an HD versus a SD. So he's all over the place. And hence, the least common denominator over here for me happens to be the social media platforms, where I am sure at least he's there or she's there. You know, so from that perspective, the medium becomes very critical, and hence the influencer also becomes very critical. So, yes, I do understand that as things stand today, it's going to be really important for all of us to look at this medium and the set of people in a very serious manner. I don't know what's in store for us 2 years, 3 years later, but today, that's how things stand. It's an important part of the plan, and we are moving in that direction. The speed is bound to increase unless something really dramatically different or things turn up. But yeah, plans are to be a lot more active on this medium for sure.
Plans are there to be a lot more active. And this is coming from Sanjay. And just imagine how this medium, the influencer marketing piece, is going to explode in the coming years. Before we go ahead, I would request to play one of the ads, influencer marketing ads that you guys have, Spykar has created.
Thank you. Rohit, this is too heavy, please help me with it. Ro, could you please clean upar na? Can't reach. Rohit!
Shh. How will you ever manage in life if you need me all the time?
But I'm a little girl and you're my big strong man.
Yeah. What the hell? I thought you were supposed to be this weak little girl. Wait. So why are you making me do all those things around the house?
So you remember what I got you for Valentine's Day? Rohit, this box of under jeans by Spykar is for you. This is something that will make our bond stronger and it won't dig into your skin. The fabric is not stitched, it's bonded. Just like I love. Smooth, right?
Yeah, so what about that?
Now think about the things that I'm making you do. Listen, can you pass me that book? Bro, can you please clean it out? Rohit, this is too heavy, can you please help me?
Your take on this, Sanjay, before we play the next campaign.
I think it's for them to judge. I mean,
No, but what was the genesis? Why did you come up with this? What was the...
Innerwear is a segment that Spykar's launched. It comes under the name Under Jeans. Primarily, we feel that the mindset or the DNA of a jeans lover is very different from any other trouser wearer or any other apparel wearer. And we feel that innerwear segment for men especially has not yet been explored at all. 9 out of 10 people buy a jockey because it's the most widely available product, excellent distribution, amazing product, good pricing, and hence you're buying that. But there are those set of people who still want to have something else. And so we coined a brand called Under Jeans, which kind of talks to every person who loves a pair of jeans, and hence Under Jeans. So, and innerwear is a little difficult for you to get people to kind of model for or, kind of sell. And we also didn't want to make it too in your face. So this was the whole idea we had crafted, and where in your daily chores, we wanted to bring out how an under jeans also plays a role in your lives. So that was one of our attempts. Yeah.
So we'll ask how influencer marketing impacted the brand. We'll play the second video also, and then we will take it ahead.
हम कबूल ये फितूर जो है endless ना हजूर ये सुरूर हम relentless हम है खून में जुनून पर ना senseless हम तो पैदा ही हुए थे young and so restless
So here we knew that Aves is kind of already a fan of Spykar, and we felt that the most ideal guy to kind of take it ahead. Dance is one of the areas that we feel connects to the young audiences, and so that was the first attempt at influencer marketing.
So how was your experience with the influencer marketing?
So it's been good. The only thing I feel yet I have not kind of been able to get comfort on is the fact that when I do my own shoots, when I do a normal TVC or whatever, I have a lot more control on how it pans out. You know, over here that control I feel is missing because here many things are happening with many people. You know, so it's very difficult for. It's all at the mercy of the influencer and the agency. And as I said, that the agency are yet not so mature to really take the brief and bring out the right tonality, the essence of what we want to actually speak. So I think there seems to be a bit of disconnect as far as I'm concerned. I might be completely wrong. I just feel that maybe I'm new to the medium and that's why I don't have this grasp on, you know, कभी-कभी ऐसा होता है ना कि मैं हाथ में लेता हूँ तो मेरे को मालूम है कि ठीक हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा है. यहाँ पे I'm doing it little offline. I'm kind of remote doing it, so that comfort, and it could be probably my own, you know, apprehension, and I might get used to this whole thing. Yeah.
Okay, I have more questions on that. Last ad, please.
The city.
Carry on.
Ever since I left the city. Ever since I left the city.
Okay, Sanjay, yes.
Play नहीं किया ये, but so this was our, I think Raksha Bandhan
Raksha
campaign.
Bandhan, yes.
And we have एक कहावत है ना, मतलब there's a way we call बाप of everything. So we had said the बहन of everything over here as a gift, a gifting idea, the bane of all gifting ideas. So that was the thought. I think, again, coming back to my baby steps, the brand's baby steps into this medium, we surely want to do a lot more and, you know, stick our neck out and say that we've done enough and more out here.
So why did you use influencer marketing? And what was your overall experience? You have anyways given that experience part of it, but from a marketer's perspective, when I'm spending those dollars, I should know that, you know, what is my ROI. So was only the brand saliency a factor? So coming back to the original, and this has to be, you have already answered it, but I would like to have an honest answer. Why did you start using influencer marketing and what is the ROI? Or do you require a ROI at this stage?
Obviously, you require an ROI because it's substituting or replacing something else. So obviously, there were certain takeaways from the earlier plans and efforts. So ROI, I think that needless to say. Why influencer? I also answered this, that because today a lot is happening on the medium. I think everybody has given up on everything else but influencer marketing. So somehow when I speak to agencies, the only solution which comes out from agencies is by influencer marketing. इनको यूज़ कर लो, उनको यूज़ कर लो, ये कर लो, वो कर लो. तो मुझे इसके लिए ये लगता है कि ये अभी है ना, the lowest hanging fruit सब लोग पिक कर रहे हैं और बहुत easier जो काम है ना वो कर रहे हैं सब लोग. कोई इसमें मेहनत नहीं कर रहा है. मुझे लगता है कि ये this will go through a lot of changes and this will present itself in very different form and shape over the years. It will be here to stay, but it's going to go through a lot of changes because I, from a marketer's perspective, I'm asking a lot of questions over here. So whoever is serving me this whole medium, whether it's an influencer or the agency, they have a lot of questions to answer because what I'm going through, probably a lot other people would be going through also. And the earlier we answer these questions, it's better. Then we have something interesting on hand.
So what would be your metrics from an influencer marketing perspective? Or you would like to ask more questions is what you said.
As I said, the most...
Let's be ruthless here with everybody else because as you mentioned, spending so many dollars, ROI is required, you know. So why not? So what is Sanjay Vakharia expecting from these campaigns or from the industry?
So I think the first thing I will want to know is that whoever I'm selecting, why should I select him? So is the kind of set of people following him the only metrics? Or I need to understand why, what are the things that he or she does which allows me to kind of pick on him, right? The second would be then going and looking at his his data as to who are the people following, with geography, so on and so forth. I think those are the very hygiene areas that we'll touch upon. But more than anything else is that eventually I feel that, and as a brand also, I mean, and I'm just speaking this while I'm talking, thinking about it and talking it, that I feel that at some point of time I'm going to kind of zero in on few people and become more consistent with them, because this moving on with multiple influencers is not going to help any brand, because 200 लोग क्या बोलेंगे ब्रांड के बारे में, तो जो काम 5 जन कर सकते हो उसको मैं 200 लोग क्यों यूज़ करूँ. तो यू नो एक पैकेट बटर है मेरे पास, पूरा ब्रेड का लोफ है, तो मैं पूरे ब्रेड के लोफ पे वो एक पैकेट कंज्यूम करूँ या 2 स्लाइस पे वो लगा दूँ. वो एक क्वेश्चन मेरे को आने वाला है कि वैसे भी बहुत सारा फिल्टर होके यहाँ पे आता है, एंड आई वुड रादर यूज़ फ्यू पीपल, ensure that his entire set of followers align with the brand, rather than do a little with so many more people and not have anything at home. So I think, but again, all this is work in progress even for me.
Last question is about the sales funnel, because that's where we need to ensure that the influencer marketing plays an equal role. But what is your view on that? Because normally influencer marketing is used for only acquisition, which is one part of the sales funnel, and you just touched upon it. You have to ensure that the influencer gets his TG or his followers to at least follow the brand and experience it. But across the sales funnel, where else can the influencer help you apart from just propagating the brand?
No, he can do the role of what the brand ambassador does to me. So I don't have a doubt on that. Okay. I just feel that the influencers need to get as serious about it. They need to be a little more engaged with the brands. I find them working very hands-off kind of a way. I find the agencies to be very insecure. I don't think that they want brand owners and brand people to meet the influencers as much. I just feel that overall this whole medium needs to become a little more transparent, more trusting, so that the optimum can be brought out. The idea is not to take away anybody's business. So मैं कल किसी को 15% दे रहा था, यहाँ पे भी दूंगा 15%. लेकिन मेरे को विश्वास होना चाहिए कि जो हो रहा है वो we are all aligned on the output eventually. So, and I'm sorry, I'm not delving into the technicalities, because I already put my disclaimer that I'm not from the technical side of it. I'm seeing it from a very business lens, and whatever little bit I said was from a brand owner, marketer perspective. So I need to be a little more comforted with what I eventually walk out with, and a lot of that has to be an obligation of every single stakeholder who's involved in this whole medium.
Will you give upcoming influencers, budding influencers, a chance? This is not this, but I'm just, asking. It's.
I think yes, of course. I would love to do that, because at the end of the day, the guy who's taking the brand across has to be relevant to the brand. So we can walk the journey and build each other. So I'm fine with that. Provided I see merit in that person, I see the merit in whatever he's trying to propagate, what are the characteristics that he himself is espousing for his own self or her own self. I think if all those kind of are a tick box, I have absolutely no worries on, because I really don't really respect and trust the numbers that are out there in terms of followers. So I'm putting a punt on them. So I don't mind putting a punt on who's got 0 followers also.
We are almost done. Times is up. Any one question that the audience would like, and this would be the first and the last, I suppose, or otherwise I have one more. If quickly you can.
In terms of ROI, sir, the traditional marketing and the display networks which you run. So influencer marketing, I just wanted to understand, in your experience, what's the ROI influencer marketing versus the traditional marketing?
Sanjay, last question.
In terms of filtering out who to approach as an influencer, how do you quantify the cost or benefit of approaching an influencer, or the risk or gain that a company has to take?
So the most objective answer to both the questions would be, a spike in sales, right? But I still feel that we are still a little far away from this resulting in immediate sales. For especially brands like us, I can understand for a D2C brand, but our 90% business comes out of offline. And for this activity, making that difference to my offline business in a particular period of time, it's very difficult to judge, and it may not happen also. So for the time being, I am very happy if my communication reaches to an X amount of people uh, with a significant engagement rate, where I have been able to at least kind of put across the message that the brand wants to put across to its consumers in a non-ambiguous manner. So if I achieve that, I'm fine with it. But expecting anything more out of this as at this point of time seems to be a little difficult.
Thank you, Sanjay, for this very short chat. In fact, I know I had many more questions, and the audience also. A couple of you all from both the rows also raised the hands, but unfortunately we have run short of time. It was a delight to have this very short, candid chat with you, Sanjay. Looking forward to engage in the future as well. Thank you very much for coming.
I feel I've come to a school, so I'm happy to learn. So the pleasure
That's
entirely
the
mine.
best part of Sanjay, He's always in that learning mode. Thanks a lot.